immediately has to be dealt with by the staff sergeant on duty and immediately reported to Ottawa, which is where RCMP headquarters goes. She said where the file goes from there, I do not know. She goes, but getting the file from the phone call to the staff sergeant's desk, she goes, it is of the utmost priority if that call comes in.
I wonder if it goes to Bigelow Industries.
I don't think so. This goes straight to the military. Straight to the military.
Now, bringing up disclosure, I've said it, and I always say it. I think disclosure, one, came out with Reagan, and two, came out with the flyover of the White House in 1952. I think that's really where your disclosure came from, or started.
Then why is there a big frenzy going on the internet, especially like on Facebook and all that stuff? People thinking that, it's going to be a couple weeks out or a month out, and it's going to be this massive disclosure, and it's a big frenzy, and people are trying to get their books out as fast as they can, to rake in a little bit of cash.
Well, can I answer that, Gary?
Yeah, please do. Dave, please do.
That actually leads to a real interesting conversation that I had on Twitter today, speaking of social media, about this something similar. Okay, the disclosure movement, what do we need from it? Those who've experienced it already know it's there, number one. Number two, why do we always take the stories that people give and not believe them? We've had some very high profile people come out and say this phenomenon is real. Okay? If you want to know about disclosure, one only has to look. You don't have to look at MUFON. You don't have to look at the To the Stars Academy. All you have to do is watch the Robert Bigelow story on 60 Minutes from May of 2017. Now, here is a gentleman who is involved. If you do your research on him, he's involved in black projects. He's involved in the UFO phenomena. He's got Harry Reid, the former Nevada senator, in his back pocket with this topic. Okay? You look at that, and Bigelow basically comes out, and you can put it on YouTube. Just put Robert Bigelow UFO 60 Minutes. It comes up. It's very easy to find. But for anybody who questions disclosure, Bigelow made it. Okay? Yeah. But we don't want to believe Bigelow. We don't want to believe John Podesta. The minute you mention John Podesta, all of a sudden you got people talking about this crap with Pedogate, and he's a pedophile, and he's this, and he's that. He sent out a tweet when he left the Obama's office to run Hillary Clinton's campaign. He said, sadly, my biggest regret of 2014 was not securing the hashtag disclosure files on UFOs. Hashtag the truth is still out there. This is the highest paid civilian in the United States government saying the UFO phenomena is real. I cannot get the files out. Bigelow going on 60 Minutes. Okay, what Ronald Reagan said at the UN. We've already had everything that everybody needs, but our society has become so bloody fickle that all we want to do is complain. Oh, that's BS. That's BS. I'm the armchair UFO quarterback sitting in front of my computer. I know that's BS. Really? Come on. Wake up. Okay? Wake up.
Here's the thing, too. They want hard evidence. What about the $22 million that the U.S. government gave Bigelow Industries for UFO research? That's documented. It's not conspiracy. It's not. You can look it up.
That's very true. That's very true. But the point is, there has been enough large-named profile people coming out saying this phenomenon is real. Okay? And that's the problem that we have, is and this is where I say all the time on the show, society is not ready for this topic. The media, up until the To the Stars Academy, did not take this topic seriously. All right? The public wants to shoot down everything involved with it. They have an excuse. Oh, you can't believe Bigelow, or you can't believe Tom DeLonge, or you can't believe Stephen Greer, or you can't believe this person or that person, right? Mm-hmm. We're our own worst enemy when it comes to this topic. Now, do I think disclosure is here? No, I think everybody has their own disclosure. I've had my own experiences to know this phenomenon is real. But to those who are out there trying to figure it out, if they did their homework and they realized it, the biggest mistake, let me put it this way, the biggest mistake that anybody questioning the UFO field has made is not following that Robert Bigelow 60 Minutes interview. And then if you're still questioning Bigelow and Bigelow Industries and Bigelow Aerospace in regards to all of that, look up the man's history. Look at the millions that he has spent or received in regards to this phenomena. Look up the Skinwalker Ranch. Look up the UFO websites that he bought. Look up the fact that for a long time, Bigelow Aerospace was the only company that you could call if you were part of the FAA and witness strange phenomenon in the sky. This is the man who is the godfather of ufology, and the entire United States and the entire world has dismissed him. He went on 60 Minutes and said, I know this phenomenon is real. You do not have to go to space to see UFOs and extraterrestrials. They are already here. The stupid part about it is he caught the reporter off guard with that, and she did not press him on that topic. All right? So what she should have said is, where can we find these extraterrestrials? Press him. That was the most important 7 minutes of television in the last 30 years on this phenomena, and everybody washed their eyes out in it. Okay?
I wonder if people have actually considered the ramifications.
What was that, Keith?
And so I wonder if people have actually even considered the actual ramifications of what would happen if all of a sudden in today's world it was revealed that aliens were in fact here en masse. Can you picture what would happen to the economy globally?
Keith, it's not just that, okay? I think they know, okay? You have to look at it, guys. And this is the way I look at it. And I could be completely wrong, okay? But the way I look at it is this. They don't care about the generations who are 40 years old and up. The reason why is our generations are still the majority of religion or religious. Our generations are the majority of people who are agnostic or atheist. The majority of our generations, we're still a five senses type of crew where we don't want to believe that there is anything else up there or out there, whether it's psychic phenomena, intuition, whatever it could be. All right? It's the younger generations, Cooper's kids, my kids, anybody, Keith, your kids, okay, whoever has children who are stepping away from mainstream thinking that we are used to, who are now pushing the envelope, trying to find their own spirituality, their own path, their own guidelines. They are open. They are more engaged in believing about these types of phenomena, whether it's psychic ability, whether it's UFOs, whether it's Bigfoot. You don't have a lot of 18, 19, 20-year-olds who you can say, hey, do you believe in UFOs? You don't have a lot of them that say no. You don't. I look at my nieces and nephews. I say, do you believe in UFOs? Yeah, I do. Well, have you seen one? No. Well, why do you believe? Because there's got to be something more out there. Look how big the universe is.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's just it. Ironically, when you look at the psychic world, I can tell you from practical experience, the majority of people I end up talking to in that field are in their 40s. They're in their mid-40s to mid-50s is where the majority of them come from.
That's because a lot of them have had that awakening, okay? And it's shifted their entire progress and everything. I look at myself. I was 38 years old when I had my first awakening. When I had my UFO awakening and ran into my first extraterrestrial, I was 40. Right?
I wish I'd been at least that old. I started a little earlier than you did.
But that's the idea about it, Gary, is we already know, like getting back to the original fact, we already know the high-profile people have already said, like, give me an example. John Alexander, who has been one of Robert Bigelow's right-hand men, and if you've ever investigated this private group called the Aviary, okay, he came on my show, and we were talking about Skinwalker Ranch. And he said on my show, everything you have heard about what happened at Skinwalker Ranch is true. I said, John, did you see any of this? He goes, I did not see a thing. He goes, but I know the people who did, and everything you've heard is true. All right? Yet you talk to anybody who's the armchair quarterback researcher who sits on their computer and Googles everything, they don't believe it. They think it's Skinwalker Ranch is full of crap, that there's nothing happening there. Why would he come out and say it's true? What's wrong? Why don't we want to believe when these people who are in the know come out? The reason why is it's easy to say there's an agenda behind it. Okay? No. An agenda is something like the To the Stars Academy, who refuses to talk to the media or certain portions of the media. Okay? Spaced Out Radio, Night Dreams Talk Radio. You'll never have somebody from To the Stars Academy on in the near future. Doesn't matter how many times you ask their press person, they're not coming on. That's controlling a narrative. When you have people like Bigelow or John Alexander or John Podesta coming out and saying this phenomenon is totally 100% real, there's your proof. We are just too stupid to think about it because, A, the mainstream media does not want to cover these topics, okay? And they were caught off guard with their pants down when the To the Stars Academy came out and that New York Times article came out in December of 2017, okay? They were caught off guard. And that's the problem that we have, is because the mainstream media refuses to jump on board with this, okay? That Bigelow thing, if that happened, say, about Microsoft or about Apple, that story would have been viral for months. But because Bigelow comes out and talks about UFOs, it's buried, all right? Every media outlet would have jumped on that topic if it was about something that was five senses or something that is going on today with a major company. But because it was UFOs, it didn't get covered. And that's why I encourage everybody, go on YouTube, go look up Robert Bigelow, 60 Minutes, UFOs. And if you still have any disbelief on that, study who Robert Bigelow is, because he is the number one man in the world when it comes to UFOs, and he is the one we should be paying attention to.
But why, Dave, and I'm not going to mention people's names or anything, but I've noticed even a couple of my friends, I've been overwhelmed with people trying to get on my show here in the last couple of weeks in a big frenzy lately. So assured that there's going to be government papers here, proof. We already know that there's UFOs. If a person doesn't believe there's UFOs and the world is flat, but I'm just saying there's a big frenzy like I have never seen, and it's gotten crazy.
Well, that's because the UFO phenomena is the hot topic. Okay, when you have people, whether you love them or hate them, and I'll be honest with you, I'll go on record and say I'm not a fan of Tucker Carlson, but there's a gentleman who has a news reputation at Fox who refuses to drop the story. Okay, and that's exactly what it is. when you refuse to drop the story and you're not playing the X-Files theme song or Star Wars or Star Trek